Good morning, everyone, and welcome today. I welcome you all to the today's session of COVID-19 and its impact on childhood obesity, brought to you by Apollo Cradle. To speak on this topic today, I would like to welcome Dr. Satish Reddy, who is our internal consultant as a pediatrician and neonatologist associated with Brookfield Center in Bangalore. What he's done is I would want to briefly talk about a doctor. Doctor has done his MBBS and MD and FIPM, and he's a pediatrician and neonatologist with us. Doctor, we welcome you to the today's session, and we are looking forward to hear from you because this is something which is an ongoing hot topic, and we all want to know that what is the impact of COVID-19 on childhood. So one of them being obesity, we want to know more about it. So we're looking forward to hear from you, sir. It's all yours.
Oh, sure. Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon and warm good afternoon to everyone. Uh, as Today we are going to discuss myself, Dr. Satish. Today we are going to discuss something important about the ongoing issue, which is COVID-19 and how its impact on childhood obesity. So, just so what? Let us start with what is the impact of COVID-19 on childhood obesity? Are we really neglecting the hidden pandemic? As parents, we might be facing new set of problems pertaining to children's physical, social, and emotional well-being. Like how abrupt changes we have undergone all the past 2 years due to COVID, which happened due to closure of schools, restrictions of child play activities, and ongoing online classes. Added to these all those, we are slowly seeing gradual rise of obesity and overweight cases in our regular OPD clinics. This obesity is gradually becoming a global problem across all population and all age groups being affected. I can say, as per the CDC, latest CDC, that around 18% of the children are getting affected and, with this. So, how do you define obesity? How, when you call the child is obese or something or overweight? To know this, generally we need something like a child's age, height, and weight. Weight should be in kg, and height should be, generally we take it in meters. Weight divided by height, square root of height in meters. So generally we get something called BMI charts, which are easily available over Google. You can search it as IAP BMI charts, and or else roughly if you can estimate, you can divide weight in kg and the square root of height in meters. The value which yields the result is like if the BMI is more than 25, it is obesity. If it is around 22 to 25, then it is overweight. 18 to 22 is normal. So, what causes obesity? What are the basic things causing obesity? We're not going too deep into the topic of obesity. I'd like my session to brief up on COVID-19 and its impact on obesity. So, what determines obesity is one is genetic makeshift, and second one is environmental pattern. Genetics is something we all know that we can't modify it. We have inherited from one's parents, like if some from parents, from ancestors. Like I say, if one parent is obese, there is chances like 3 to 4 times the child may get obese. Or if both parents are obese, then they have chances like 10 to 12% of the chances that the child might get obese. So today we will see about the environmental pattern. What we can modify, we can see that. So the other one, the modifiable factor, which is environmental and behavioral, as the name suggests, it can be modified. So we will look into it in the further session, session ahead. So we have seen several what food can be modified. We have seen several challenges pertaining to these modifiable factors. So as we all know, because of COVID-19 pandemic, most of us are having less activity. I think most of us, you will agree with me. So should we ignore it? This is something to ignore? No, this is something that shouldn't and can't be ignored. So what will happen if child is obese? Generally, if obese children will continue as obese adults. Also, obesity in childhood comes with its own set of comorbidities. Like as we know that when adults are obese, they are more prone for diabetes, hypertension, and dyslipidemia. So same is the case with the children. So they too are more prone for diabetes, hypertension, and dyslipidemia. So if we so during what happened during pandemic is it was found that most of the BMI of kids got doubled, which is a high red flag for diabetes. These are the like diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia. These are some of the physical effects of obesity. But what we are ignoring is some other aspect of obesity too. It has its own share of mental. It has its own share of impact on mental well-being of the child, which can result in low social behavior, low self-esteem, and can land in depression too. If we don't address the problem right away, so we are making ourselves exposing our child to much more problems later in the life. Coming to our discussion, how far COVID has affected obesity. As I said earlier, modifiable risk factors such as physical activity, food eating behaviors, and sleep, which have a high impact on obesity. So, how much COVID has definitely led to the impact on physical activity, our food eating behaviors, and sleep? Let's see. So, physical activity. Coming to physical activity, the guidelines say that at least 45 to 60 minutes or more of moderate to vigorous physical activity at least 5 days in a week is required for a child per week among children. So initially we used to have the schools and a separate physical education class. So and much of activity child daily used to get up early in the morning and go to schools, have a lot of physical activity. So that was enough for him. But now as COVID is there, the physical activity has completely come down almost to nil. Now it's getting better. Hope for the best. So most of the children, as they are not going to school, sitting at one place and attending online classes, resulting in more obesogenic environment and quite sedentary lifestyle. Children living in such conditions are likely to be exposed to elevated risk for energy imbalance and unhealthy weight gain. So when they are not doing any activity, sitting at a place and attending online classes and nothing much of physical activity, so obviously the energy imbalance is elevated and it obviously leads to unhealthy weight gain. So the second one is food eating behaviors. Because of food insecurities, what happened in the previous waves was because of shutting of shops and during lockdown, most of the parents what they did was they used to like all of us used to stock the foods, not only the healthy foods, even the unhealthy foods like junk food, chips, everything. We used to stock it up in our house and respectively because of staying at home, we used to have a lot of the junk foods. And what's happening even now also to avoid overexposure outside, we are all tending to buy all the items at a time in a go and stocking it, leading to excessive eating of junk food at home. Um, so most of the kids, even due to boredom, they are having a lot of junk foods at home. Uh, and coming to the third one, sleep disturbances due to school holidays resulting in like earlier there was a fear that they used to get up in the morning because of school. Now because of no schools, it is resulting in getting up late in the morning, staying back late in the night, having more screen time in form of online classes. I find even the smallest of kid using mobile and tab throughout the day sitting at one place. Okay, and coming to the fourth factor, which is stress in children is like they are not able to go to school, they are not able to meet up their friends, they are not able to play with them. This is all leading to the stress in some adults and children, and stress also indirectly leads to eating behavior in older children. Also in some younger children staying at home, they are as I said, they are eating out of boredom too, asking food for every 1 hour. So so what we have gone through: physical activity, sleep disturbance, anxiety, stress. These are all the modifiable risk. Food eating behaviors. These are all modifiable risk factors. These can be modified. So, is it the obesity going to be the next pandemic after COVID? So, how to tackle that? I I would say like whatever we do, the children follow. Like we are the role models. What children see us and follow. Most of the kids follow the elders. So initially, it should start from the elders. Parents should adopt healthy lifestyles. Like I know it's very difficult when parents are working from home, and if both are working, there is like Most of them are not able to cater much time to the children. So make what we can do. So make some time, and one of you has to take turns to attend child. If possible, have food together, and it would be even great to have all sort of gadgets out during the meal time. Have conversations with each other. Have a nice family time, and take turns and attend the child. When both the parents are working from home, take turns and attend the child and help him in his meals. And the smaller children, don't give much of screen time. Don't give mobiles and have them let them have the food. Avoid mobiles and gadgets during meals and have a healthy conversations. If the kid is smaller, talk to them regarding what happened during the day, tell the events during the day, what needs to be done, how to cope up. You can discuss all the things and at least once in a day have to have a meal together with all the family together. And second thing regarding food is avoid getting or stocking up junking foods. Better what you do is fill your fridge from fruits and vegetables. And if your child opens the fridge, we should be getting some healthy food. And also do not enroll your child in any fat loss programs. Even if he is obese or something, do not enroll him in any fat loss programs or start on some keto diet or something. As most of the children are growing children and they need sufficient amount of balanced diet, which includes sufficient amount of carbohydrates for growth and development. So his calories need not be cut down abruptly, and his diet should be adequate. Only lifestyle change modification should be quite enough for him. Um, Dieting and losing sudden weight is not at all advised. Always remember slow and steady wins the race. We are looking for some long-term and gradual weight loss is better. Uh, Not a sudden weight loss is not at all good. Uh, Coming to other things, screen time. Make a particular time in a day when your child needs, like give in a particular part of a day. Tell him that the mobile will be given for him or the laptop will be given for him within so much and so time. Whenever he finishes his online classes or something. Now I know that most of the schools are reopening and kids are attending it. That's well and good. But encourage him to play. And other thing, what we are seeing is lack of vitamins. And as the kids are not getting exposed much to the sunlight during COVID, encourage them to play in the sun. And at least if they can't play outside, at least he can play in his balcony and get adequate exposure of sun. So that will help in his vitamin D levels also. Um, I think I will conclude the session. If anything to be asked, just you can ping me in the chat box.
Doctor, I have included, there were two questions which are there in your private chat, if you could answer them.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. What should be included in diet so as to avoid child being obese? So whatever the normal healthy food we are taking for children, carbs should not be avoided. At least 50 to 60% of your food should be included. Carbohydrate should be included. Um, Better like what the healthy lifestyle is like better whatever our ancestors have told. The same thing has to be continued. Not to avoid junk food as much as possible. Your food should be balanced. Like get 50 to 60% of the carbohydrates and 10 to 15% of the proteins. Make your meal a balanced diet. And obesity comes from even from food and lifestyle, like physical activity and all the factors included. It doesn't alone depend on diet. So balanced diet with sufficient amount of physical activity should be enough. Another question is, does inactivity of a child lead to constipation in a child? This is like a exactly, it is not a straightforward contributing factor to constipation, but indirectly it may lead to constipation. So when the child is more active and has more food, it is more food and more fibers, um, and avoiding junk food, his bowel habits will be very good, and it indirectly leads to a good healthy lifestyle. And sometimes, if due to inactivity and having food at having all the junk foods at the same time, it may lead to constipation too. So yeah, I think no more questions. So we'll conclude the session. So as I said, physical activity, I would like to say that physical activity, at least once in a 5 days in a week, at least the child should be playing out at least moderate to severe vigorous activity, 45 to 50 minutes in a, to 45 to 1 hour in a, 45 minutes to 1 hour in a week. It has to be moderate to vigorous physical activity. Avoid eating much of junk food, stored foods. Go for a healthy balanced diet and sleep early, wake up early, early to bed, early to rise, and don't think that if the child is obese, also go in a gradual way to reduce the weight. Don't subscribe for any fat loss programs or something. I think that should be enough. And anything is there, you can add up me in chat sessions. It will be open for discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
quite
you.
informative. I guess there are no questions from the patient, so I will end the
Sure.
broadcast.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.